Right, reviews to come. Let's start with the new Nanny McPhee movie.
And how excited am I about this? I really like the first Nanny McPhee film. I hadn't read any of the source novels, and I was kind of worried in advance of seeing it. I saw it at the National Press Show, which is the Monday before it opens, and people had referred to it as Scary Mary Poppins. And it's always very dangerous for me to in any way invoke Mary Poppins, because as you know, I think Mary Poppins is one of the greatest movies. Incidentally, on the Mary Poppins, a movie which Jeffrey Katzenberg clearly doesn't understand, but which I'm sure he thinks would have been better had it been in 3D. And so anyway, and then I really liked Nanny McPhee, and it was one of those films that it when it came out on DVD, I got it pretty much the day it came out, and it has been on hard rotation in our house ever since, and I love it. And I'm a huge Emma Thompson fan, despite the fact that when Emma Thompson first started out and things like Dead Again, I really didn't get Emma Thompson. I now think she's one of those reliable assets. Whenever you see her name in a movie, you saw her in Education, right? There's that very, you saw it long before I did. I'm sorry, that was almost rude to ask you whether you saw it in Education, because there was months when you'd seen it when I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And she's only on screen for like 7 minutes when she does that thing as the head mistress, and she virtually steals the whole movie out from under Carey Mulligan's nose, because she's great. Anyway, so first Nanny McPhee movie, terrific. Second Nanny McPhee movie, is it possible that it's going to live up to my expectations? And I went and I saw it this morning in the cinema in Shepherd's Bush, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm not being funny about this. I was in floods of tears.
No,
really. I found it genuinely magical and moving. The story is basically, it's a family during the wartime. Maggie Gyllenhaal is the mother, who incidentally is doing a very good English accent. Father, played by Ewan McGregor, is off fighting the war. There are the kids living on the farm, but then there are the posh relatives who have to come live in the farm. They all have to get on with each other. Obviously, they don't get on with each other. They have to call in Nanny McPhee, because obviously the person you need is Nanny McPhee. Here's a clip.
Good evening, Mrs. Green. I am Nanny McPhee.
Oh, you're it! I mean, her. Who are you?
I am Nanny McPhee. Small C, big P.
Right. Thing is, I haven't hired a nanny. I don't need a nanny. I'm managing perfectly well. I have never had a nanny because I don't want a nanny.
I am an army nanny, Mrs. Green. I have been deployed.
No. There must be some mistake. Everything's under control here.
Wait for me, you want from hell!
That's Cyril. He's not one of mine. He's their cousin.
You parasitic
And that's
pussy.
Norman.
Hands off me!
He is mine. They've just met.
No.
They're getting to know each other. Through play.
Kill the conies and eat their heads.
Oh, it's the war. It's not a very good influence.
Indeed. May I come in?
The clips are definitely getting longer. There was some
sorry,
correspondence about clips earlier. I thought we were
clippage.
going to have the whole, in the clippage thing, just the whole movie.
Okay, well, I will try and make them shorter, but that
was very
that
funny.
was a clip.
It was good.
But you got to hear Emma Thompson being Nanny McPhee. So here's the thing. Firstly, I think that character is just entertaining and charming and engaging and scary in the right kind of way. And the film has a genuinely magical sense, which an awful lot of kids' entertainment doesn't have. And incidentally, it's a film that wouldn't have been better in 3D. Emma Thompson, she's written it and does a really, really good job with bringing together some quite complicated elements, which are that what Nanny McPhee does as before is that she teaches the children a series of lessons. There are 5 lessons that they have to learn, which are to do with working together, not fighting, being brave. It's basically life lessons. And the whole Nanny McPhee thing is, when you need me but don't want me, I'll stay. But when you want me but don't need me, I have to go. Which of course is very Poppins, because the whole thing at the end of Poppins is that she's only there until the moment that the father realises that actually there's more to life than working in a bank. And at that point, that's when she goes.
You said that as though it was a prescient film.
No, but it's actually, of course, it is entirely prescient, and of course, the fact that he's called Mr. Banks is the big clue there. But so she does that very well. She also balances, I think, very well, quite complicated ideas about separation and loss and more. Because as with any of these children's dramas, they have to deal with all those things. And then the filmmakers put the magical elements are invoked in such a way that when they have, for example, animated pigs and flying sequences and magical sequences, some of which would, I suppose, you could say refer to Harry Potter, because there's a flying motorbike at one point, you don't just sit there thinking, oh, this is actually something else. You think this has got a spirit and a charm all of its own. I think the centre of it is Emma Thompson's performance. She is just really, really funny and genuinely commands the screen. And what I loved about it was it's moving in all the right ways. exciting and funny. I mean, there are a massive amount of pee and poo jokes. I mean, at the very beginning, when the posh kids turn up and they arrive at the farm, and there's just slurry all over the floor, and there's this whole very funny section in which the young posh kid says, "We have arrived in the land of poo. There is poo everywhere." And then one of the other kids opens the door and he says, "Hello, poo people." Now, I mean, and I saw it.
It's going to be funny though. You've said many times before
the word poo is always funny, and I saw it in a cinema this morning with a bunch of kids, and believe me, they were laughing their heads off. And during the chase sequences, they were literally going, "Come on, come on, come on, come on!" I mean, it was working with that audience, and I'm not making this up. I was sitting there with the tears streaming down my face. I really, really enjoyed it. I think Emma Thompson is an absolute gem. I think that it's very good. I think this is every bit as good as the first one, and no matter what the critical or box office response is like, and I don't know because I haven't read other reviews of it yet, I suspect that on DVD this will have exactly the same longevity that the first one did. This is a proper kids film.